Something that's always really important to revisit, to talk about, get good perspective on is security. At the end of the day, we are here talking about NFT shit, right? So, what's some stuff you've been kind of seeing as of late? Maybe anything that's like stuck out over to you over the last week. I know you kind of had the weekend out of the space, but anything that really stuck out, or in addition, and or what's kind of your best security advice of the week, as it's always kind of changing.
Yeah, well, it seems like people have kind of starting to they're starting to wise up a little bit. It seems like a lot of the tactics for a lot of the free mint fishing and the kind of the building off the hype, right, is what a lot of people were doing. Is they'd see a hype project, they'd basically see all the interaction, they'd see the link, they'd get into it, they'd mint it, not knowing what it was, just based off FOMO, and then next thing you know,
Oh
your
no.
wallet's drained, right? FOMO, yeah. And next thing you know, your wallet's drained, right? So at least now when I see a lot of these ads, because most of it sucks, but a lot of it is Twitter. A lot of it is straight on
Mm.
Twitter. People will pay for sponsored tweets, promoted tweets, or whatever it is with malicious links on them. And Twitter's out there allowing them to just promote it to the masses. And so if you ever see certain stuff will just pop up on your feed, if you click in and go through the comments, it's kind of good that now you're seeing that a lot of people are calling these posts on their bullshit, right? They're basically letting them know this is a scam. Don't click these links. You're going to lose all your shit. So it seems like people are wising up to the typical phishing scams that they've been doing. One thing that I was going to basically start doing as well is securing my Discord a little bit more. So a lot of the stuff is still going through Discord. I didn't realize that so this is one thing that we did do in our Discord without even realizing it. But if you actually have your verified channel, right? And if you don't change the permissions so that once people are verified, they can no longer see that verified channel, it puts them in that channel with all the new people still. So regardless of if they've verified and gone through that role or whatever to gain access to the rest of the channels, if somebody comes in that's a malicious bot, if you haven't removed that from your actual members' views, that malicious bot still has access to your members without even having to go through the verification. I know that was long-winded, but
Oh
basically,
shit.
once people verify in your Discord, make it so that that verified channel is no longer accessible to them. And I actually, Chadma was the one that was telling us about
Mm.
that yesterday in the Midday Munchies. And so we were going through some security checks on Discord and what we can do to make it a little more secure. We're also looking, everything that you do, you have to have two-factor authorization attached to that. So everything all my logins, 2FA, I'm going to basically require that for the team as well. So that way we can secure the Discord a little bit more and make sure that these random DMs aren't getting to our members. But yeah, those are some of the things that you can do as a project owner to make sure that your community's safe. As far as the community goes, it's still the same. If you get an email from OpenSea saying you got an offer or something and you want to go accept it, go directly to OpenSea to see if that offer is sitting on that item. Don't click through to the emails. Don't click into the links because anybody can replicate an email. They can literally say it's from OpenSea support, and somehow it's masking the true email address that it came from, and so you end up clicking through, signing, and everything gets wiped. So just do everything directly through OpenSea. Don't click on any links in emails, nothing in DMs. There's no such thing as like crazy stealth mints for projects that have a mint date that's supposed to be like 2-3 weeks out. They're not just going to say, hey, you know what? Actually, we're going to stealth mint right now, but you got to go to this special link. So, just kind of keep an eye on what you're doing. Obviously, before you sign or do anything with your MetaMask, read it, see what you're signing. I think, wasn't there a new update that just went out as well on MetaMask for when
Mm.
you're signing so that it actually tells you kind of in bold exactly what you're doing before you actually click through? I think, is that something that just recently happened?
Yeah, it was like last week. Dropped like last Tuesday or Wednesday. I think the update dropped. I talked about it on yesterday's show. And it was like that set approval all, right? Where you're actually set approving for the transfer of all your crypto and NFTs and everything written into the contract. And you don't even realize it. Well, when it's written into the contract, it'll literally pop up big and bold. Really, do you want to set approval for all of your Chad and Brads, all of your Ether Brews, whatever? And then it'll say, by granting permission, you are giving this wallet access to your funds and assets, whatever it says, something in there. So yeah, it populates, it does a whole shindig now for sure.
All right. No, and I'm guilty of it too, man. Going through and doing stuff quickly because I'm used to it. Or whether it's minting 2 people or transferring 2 people, I'll go through, do it quickly, and because I know I'm on OpenSea and I know my MetaMask is there, and I know that this is exactly what I'm doing. But regardless of if you're comfortable and you're doing it quickly or you're in a hurry, you definitely should just go through and double check and read, and because you never know, man. Crazier stuff has happened, and you would be absolutely heartbroken. I know a few people that have had it happen to them, and they were absolutely heartbroken. So just be safe, read what you're signing, and get yourself a ledger. As always, number 1.
Good stuff, man. I totally forgot we had talked about that with Chadma yesterday, and that little Discord verified channel deal. I know Up Too Late tunes in from time to time, so hopefully you got that info. If not, I'll definitely pass it on to him. I totally forgot to mention that yesterday. We were talking about that. I even wrote a note down about that. But yeah, I had that. I just wrote down security, and I'm glad we're always on the same page. You went down some great rabbit holes doing that, so I appreciate that. Outside of that, man, I think you know where we're going. I think you know how this ends. There was one little thing, but like, we could talk about it. I realized that I was going to talk about falling floor prices. That was going to be the final closing. Floor prices going down. You mentioned, after the weekend, come off, and oh shit, floor prices are down all over the market. What the fuck's going on? I gotta have some conversation on that. But we could talk about that at a later time, man. Nobody wants to talk about that negative ass shit. And I realized I'd written out a sentence that kind of refers to some of those people who cause those falling of floor prices, if you will. So, my friends, the secret phrase of the day for August 2nd, 2022 is hashtag Travis has moist muffins. Hashtag Travis has moist muffins. Get your head out of the gutter. He just baked up some moist banana muffins this morning. Travis has moist muffins. Also, it's time to finish the sentence, Travis. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
First sentence of the day. The easiest way to find your place in Web3 is
Bouncing around Twitter Spaces. If you get kicked out, that's those aren't the spaces to go back to.
Fuck them. No, definitely not. You just stay away and you keep coming to the midday munchies.
That's right.
Sentence number 2. The speed of the NFT and Web3 space can best be described or related to
10x real time.
Facts. I was thinking like Formula 1 racing. First thing that came to my mind when I wrote that down.
There you go.
Here's that sentence. People who undercut floors are
paper-handed B words.
Bitches.
Yeah.
Sentence number 4. The worst job I have ever held inside of cannabis is
packing bags for extraction.
Yeah. Is that when some of that toxic splooge got on you?
No.
Even worse.
I'm allergic to weed. So if it gets not like where not to where most people are, there's a lot of people that'll have a
no shit.
Take a nug and you rub it on your arm and wait a little while, you might welt up, and that's how you know that you have allergic reactions to one of the chemicals in cannabis. And so when you're in there packing bags for extraction, they're basically just giant like tea bags almost, and you just throw all the flour, you're throwing all the trim in there, you're throwing everything in the bag, you're having to stuff it, you're in a giant room and there's keys everywhere, you're basically covered in it, And every single time I would go in, my lung, like I couldn't breathe. I'd have to wear a respirator mask because I couldn't breathe because of all the keef. It would just clog up my throat. And then I'd just come out of there, be covered in welts. I'd be itchy. I'd have to go and just douse myself with alcohol. So I was constantly spraying myself down with uh, isopropyl just to like break down the weed and cut. So that was one of my worst experiences, I think. Didn't do it for very long. Quickly tried to.
That doesn't sound fun at all. But maybe that's why I enjoyed derbs better than plants. I don't know. That's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe I'll check that out. Maybe I'll do a little test of that. Apparently, you're sending the chat on fire. Question, sentence number 5. The worst job I've ever held outside of cannabis is
Manager of a soup plantation.
of a soup. Did you say a soup? SOUP?
Soup plantation.
What the fuck is a soup plantation?
Oh my man.